a nut in your mouth. Oh, hello, my degenerates. What's going on? Welcome to another beautiful Drone Brews. Producer Paul is back this week. And holy shit, I'm halfway to Saturday. Let's go ahead and bring in Producer Paul. Producer Paul, what are you drinking tonight? What are you drinking tonight, Paul?
Better than wine, I'll tell you that.
What are you drinking, Paul?
Something from I got this on the trip from my cabin. This
what is that? That's not beer, Paul. That doesn't count, Paul.
I mean, it's hard cider. Come on, it's like beer, right?
No, it's not. No, Paul. It's nothing like beer, Paul.
It's better than Angry Orchard. I mean, come on. It's like a hardcore specialty brewery.
It's your first night back from vacation, and you're already dropping the ball. You haven't even. When are you going to drink beer, Paul?
I think when the channel hits, let's say, I think we need to get to like 40 or 50,000 subscribers. Once OriginaldoBo hits that, we'll celebrate. No,
Paul. No, Paul. God damn it, Paul. Damn it, Paul. You're really dropping the ball tonight. Well, it's good to have you back. Last week was fun. We had Jake Sloan filling in for us, and then we had Sean Oz. Sean Oz came in, and he sort of stole the show. But you know that shit tends to happen. You missed it. If you haven't already became a member, we did our stream. This is actually the second stream this week. On Sunday, we had a stream. It was the Drone Brews crew stream. That was pretty fun. There was like 40 people in there, all chilling.
I was there for the end of it.
Were you there for the end of it?
I was.
So yeah, if you are a Drone Brews member, you can take part in these secret streams. Basically, we throw out a stream key, and you're able to join the stream up to 10 people. And it was a lot of fun. It's cool hanging out with you guys, and it was funny how many people were actually drinking. I had to keep up with them. So there's that. Let's go ahead and do like we normally do, Paul. Let's go ahead and take a look at the chat. Start greeting people. You terrible freaking host. You don't even drink a beer. You can't even hold the door open for people. Son of a bitch, Paul.
I want to say,
Brad Hendo.
Oh, yeah.
We got, Mr. Georgia Boy, 808 States here. We got Tim Cleve, Jake's Drone Life. We got John Hathaway.
Jake Sloan representing
here. We got Big Jake Sloan.
He likes my shirt.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Whoa. What's going on there? Leonard, dude.
Leonard, thank you so much, bro.
Did you hear about that guy flying a jetpack at 3,000 feet?
That was hilarious. I thought about The Rocketeer. I love great childhood movie.
Exactly. What person can breathe at that altitude? It makes me believe. I was watching something today. Did you see David Blaine's Ascension?
No, I have never.
You didn't see that? They took a bunch of balloons and tied them to David Blaine, and he ascended up to, I think, how high was he? Was it 27? I don't know. He was fucking up there. Anyways, and then he cut the cord and he dropped, and I was like, oh, maybe that's what the plane saw. I don't know. But that's the stupidest shit I've seen.
The funny thing was, it was multiple planes. It wasn't just one plane. They thought,
so now we have flying jetpacks. Are we going to put remote ID on jetpacks?
Yes.
They better put remote ID on jetpacks.
Yeah.
24,900 feet, David Blaine was up there. That's how high he was up. 24,900 feet on freaking balloons, Paul. Balloons.
It's like up.
Yeah, it was exactly. It was like up. It was pretty damn awesome. Artco, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Leonard Oglesby, thank you so much as well. Let me flip over to this screen, that screen. Bam! We got the slot machine going on. That's what that sound is. That's the slot
Air
machine.
2 is awesome.
One more for the slot machine.
I've been seeing a lot of comments on your channel about the Mavic 2. People have been liking it. The Mavic 2 Air.
The Mavic Air 2?
Yeah, Air 2.
Yes. The Mavic Air 2 is pretty damn phenomenal.
I want to say big shout out to 808 Drones and Eddie. You guys, I appreciate the love. I see you guys not only on all over the place on Dobo's channel, but you started popping up on mine, and you're starting to harass me. So thank you guys very much. Appreciate the love.
Harassment is good, Paul. We appreciate harassment. Paul, so who is our guest this evening?
Ooh, we have a really great guest today, Patrick, and his link is down in the description of the video already.
Patrick Tomasso from I am Patrick T.
And he has a great YouTube channel that he's kind of like you. He doesn't listen to what everybody wants. It's his channel. He does what he wants.
He does what he wants. I like it. And the fact that he does some pretty amazing things with drones that aren't considered professional, like the Mavic Air 2, the Mavic Mini. What he did with the Mavic Mini was absolutely exceptional. And I was like, holy shit, that's amazing. And then you've got the Mavic Air 2 that he's got now. And he's really doing some very creative things with that in Toronto. So pretty damn good.
And he's really darn good photographer. He
is. He's a brilliant street photographer. Just
his food photography is amazing.
Yes,
the guy bought like a $3,000 pizza oven just to take some amazing pizza pictures.
He bought a pizza oven.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him about that when he gets on.
We'll have to ask him on that. All right. So what are we drinking tonight? We know Paul is drinking shit.
I went to a Mercer's Orchard in Georgia.
How was your anniversary, Paul?
It was fantastic. What sucked is they didn't have the hot tub. Okay.
You didn't have a hot tub.
So, and we were planning on christening that bad boy, but because it was a brand new cabin, we were like the second people to ever stay in it. We were supposed to have a hot tub, and we didn't. So we had a lot of extra bottles of wine left over because we didn't drink that much.
Well, not surprising, Paul. Not surprising. All right, so tonight's brew of choice is Nutter Cup. It's one of my favorite beers. It's a chocolate peanut butter porter. We'll get a little focus on that. Paul, focus on that. Thank you, Paul. It's like you can freaking control that.
Let me roll focus here.
Let me roll focus. So did you happen to confirm a time that Patrick was coming on?
Yes, I did tell him. I said anywhere between 9:10 and 9:15.
Is that how you run your dinner parties, Paul? You're just like, just stop by anywhere between 7 and 8. You know, we're gonna have some ganache and shit. Paul, you're really dropping the ball. I see Patrick is here. We're gonna go ahead and bring Patrick in, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Patrick T.
Hello.
Thanks for joining me, man. Hello.
What's up, dude?
How's it going?
Hey, man.
Thank
you so much for coming on the show tonight, man. Want to talk a little bit about what you've done recently. I know you just got the Mavic Air 2, right?
I sure did. Probably the best drone I've bought in a very, very long time.
How many drones have you had, Patrick?
Too many. My first drone was the original Phantom, man. Like the way back, the big giant one. Like, wow. I guess that was the first. That was like the first like kind of consumer DJI drone, right? And back then it was like ungodly, and it was scary, and people would like crowd in parking lots to see you if you started tried to fly it and shit, right?
It's
it was pretty wild.
You had to mount your GoPro to it or whatever.
Yeah, you had to get the Zen or the whatever's called the Zen Muse gimbal for it. So it was all sold separately. Like it was ridiculous. But it was like the first time I was like, oh shit, it's kind of crazy that I can like throw a 4K camera up in the sky though, because it was like a Hero 4 Black that you could throw in there, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, like God, it's not even been that wasn't even that long ago if you think about it. It was like what, like 5-6 years ago, if that, right? So it's like the growth.
I feel like drone years are like dog years. You know? Drone years are like dog years. Things age differently, like very fast.
Very fast.
Yeah, totally.
Totally ages very fast. So you've got the Mavic Air 2, you had the Mavic Mini, and I think one of the things that caught my attention was a video you did with the Mavic Mini. I was just like, holy shit, this is incredible. It was right after they released the update that did the update for 24 frames per second. Paul, drop that link in the chat for that video, Paul.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, drop that link, because I think like a lot of people, like I think the biggest problem like with people that fly is they're sort of in this like little bubble of people. They don't realize that there's other creators that utilize aerial visions and take advantage of everything that's happening that we do, like just because they follow people that do drones. But there's so many creators that do so much more. And then when I see what they do, I'm like, holy shit, I never would have even imagined or even thought of that. So you're in Canada, right?
Yeah, I'm in Toronto. Yeah.
Toronto. So how is the restrictions up there to fly? Is it pretty crazy?
Rough. Yeah, it's rough. It's like you need permits, you need all the, Part 106 or what's it's called. You need like all that kind of stuff to do basically anything if you want. The one thing is like, I think it's the same in North America, but for us, the Mini, you don't have to register, right? So it doesn't have to have your name on it, none of that stuff. Whereas the Air 2, the Air 2, I have to register, right? It's got to have my name on it, got to have my barcode, all that kind of stuff in case something happens with it.
Sure.
But when I was looking at the drones, though, it's like I came from the Mavic Pro, like the first Mavic Pro, not the 2.
Sure.
That was the last one I had. And then as a lot of people have probably seen, like that had a lot of gimbal issues, and my unfortunately had that gimbal issue where it just started going nuts on me. could have got it fixed, but at the same time, the laws got so strict over that little period of time where I was just
really worth it.
It wasn't worth it. And I was just like, you know what? If I need a drone op, I'm going to hire somebody on a job. You know, I don't want to deal with the stress of it. But I was like, I was losing out on that feeling of just like, I enjoy just flying as a hobby. You know what I mean? Like as much as I do it for work, it's fun to fly a drone. You know what I mean? Like it's just fun to have it up in the air. But I was like, oh God, it's like now that I live in the city too, that I'm downtown Toronto, it's basically entirely an NFZ. Like it's all blue zone or red zone, right? Because we have an airport that's like right adjacent to the CN Tower. And so if you are downtown, you basically can't fly. It won't even let you take off, right?
Really?
It's rough. Yeah, it's rough.
So where do you fly when you do fly?
I have to go to the outskirts, right? Or I have to get a zone unlock. I have to get a zone unlock online and do it all and get it properly. Or I have to go to the outskirts into the suburbs, right? And just trying to get the like perimeters of the city. And what I liked about the Mini though is just it made that so much easier because it was like it wasn't such a like task to go out and shoot because I knew I could just throw it in my backpack and it would be with my camera and all my regular stuff. So it wasn't like I didn't have to be so conscious about it. I had to be like, oh, I'm gonna go fly my drone now, and it's like a whole ordeal. It was more like, hey, this is in there, like my phone's in my bag or whatever, or my Fuji, whatever it is, right? And so I found myself doing a lot more interesting and creative things with it because I wasn't really going out to be like, I'm going to fly my drone today. It was like, oh shit, this place looks cool. I should fly the drone.
Break it out.
It was just something that was always with me. Exactly. And the other thing is like, I don't know if you guys notice this too, but I think it's like way more socially acceptable now in a weird way to fly drones,
100%.
depending on where you're at, I'm sure. Yeah. So it's like from the old days of having the Phantoms and the Phantom 3 and then even the Mavic Pro, like if you throw the Mini out, it's so inconspicuous. Like people think you're flying like probably a small little FPV drone, to be honest. They don't even second guess you, right? You know, I've had like security near me and I've had cops near me. Not one of them has ever said anything when I'm flying the Mini. It's just like a little toy, right? It's a little toy. But what I wanted to show people was like, hey, it's a toy and it's like cheap, like super cheap. But hey, if you use it right and you know what you're doing with it, you can make great stuff with it.
So what's your go-to settings on that though? Because that video you did was like, I watched that video like probably like 4 or 5 times, and I'm just like,
nice.
How, you know, how, like
I mean, a big thing was the ND filters, right?
Okay. So what's the
big thing was ND filters.
Freewell. Okay.
Those are the Freewells. Yeah. So Freewell sent me those ND filters, and I was like kind of skeptical about the whole thing anyway. So it's like, this is just a cheap little toy drone. Like, what am I bothering with all this extra crap for? And I was like, let me just give it a shot. Because then that 24 FPS update came out. Because originally I was shooting in 30 a lot, and then like downsampling it to 24. I was like conforming it. And a lot of times, sometimes it would get choppy if you wanted to keep it in 30, but you're in that 24 project. You didn't want to slow it down. So it was pissing me off, to be honest. So obviously that 24 FPS came out. I was like, this is cool. Perfect timing. Sent those ND filters. And so I just locked that thing at 150 shutter, kept the ISO down at 100, or if I had to go to 200, if it was a little bit too dark. But once I had it at 150, and I was very like, I think for drone stuff, like the big thing is like, you know this, but like be committed to your shot and shoot with intent. Right? So many people just fly and they're up there for 20 minutes, a full battery.
Flying around.
Yeah, aimlessly flying around. Whereas like I was going at it as if I was shooting a photo, right? I would go and be like, I see this church. I know I want to shoot this church, so I'm just going to do a nice slow ease pan, right? And then as soon as I got that shot, I would get out of there. I wasn't sitting there leisurely flying around. I would get so I could get probably, I think that video itself was maybe 2 batteries worth, not even. So it's like I'm up there and I'm getting my shots, but I'm not just aimlessly flying and then hoping when I get into post that I have something usable. Like I kind of knew the edit as I was shooting it, right?
And that's the biggest thing is to you know, you got to be shooting to edit. You got to fly to edit essentially.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Because you know, I talk about efficiency. People complain so much about battery life, but if you're sitting there and constantly on off the record button, that honestly, those shorter clips make getting those magical moments like so much easier. Some people are like, I'm going to leave the record button on and let it just go. But I think when you're flying like a GPS drone and you're flying like point of interest type of things, there's really nothing interesting that's going to happen until you complete whatever it is you're trying to do.
Totally.
And leaving that record button on constantly doesn't serve you any justice when you get back to your editor. I don't know. People miss that point so much.
No, absolutely. Because we edit our own stuff, right? And I don't want to waste my own time.
Right.
Like, that's the big thing. Like I don't want to sit there and like have to sift through garbage of like zipping around and moving to another location and whatnot. Unless I'm like demonstrating something, I'd be like when the Air 2 got the zoom, I wanted to show people how you can do the zoom. So that's a lot more raw and candid, right? So there's moments where I think that has a place, but for the most part, like I'm up as if I'm shooting a photo. Because the other thing is like, even from a safety thing, it's like if I'm out getting a building or something like that, I'm really just getting that building and getting out of there, right? Like I don't want to risk any extra like, oh, I need 2 more minutes here because I just want to zip around for a bit. It's like, no, that's just first off, it's unsafe. That's how bad things happen. Exactly.
Yeah,
and I've been there. I'm sure we've all been there. Yeah.
So have you had any issues with the Mavic Mini specifically flying it? I know, like me personally being, even in Tampa, it was, I don't know, borderline dangerous sometimes because you get a lot of Wi-Fi interference and, you want to get the shot, but it's like, shit, I'm probably going to lose this drone. Granted, it's not going to hurt anything if it hits somebody, but still, it's just that factor. You don't want that to happen.
So I got the I don't even know what the name of it is, but I got that the extender, the little thing that goes on top. I got the extender on it, and honestly, that thing took, like, we're in meters out here, so I'm not sure what this would be in feet. But like previously, it would be like maybe 350 meters I would get, like, distance before I'd start to get Wi-Fi cut out. Once I added the extender, though, we were pushing like 1400. Like, it was going, like, it was gone. I went out to the boons, like I went onto fields just to test it, and like through buildings around stuff. It was almost like, it was like literally getting a new drone. When I added that extender to it. And so, like, I think previously to that, I was a little bit concerned at times. I was like, well, you lose your video feed and you're like, oh shit, I hope this thing will figure itself out and come back. Right. But if not, you're just basically SOL. So, like, when I got that extender for the Mini, I felt a lot more confident flying with it. I get a lot of people also asking me about like wind, and personally, for me, I've been on lakes with it. I've been out wherever. I haven't gone out in the winter yet with it because we haven't had a winter yet. But for me, like, I have not had a single wind issue. Again, you might have to throw it in sport mode if things get hairy to get it back and stuff like that. But for at least for the Toronto weather in Ontario here, it really hasn't been an issue for me. Like, but I just get a lot of comments, people being like, "But the wind." I'm like, I
see
gotta
that
fly
too.
this thing. It's pretty strong. Like, it's a lot. It just looks cheap and whimsy. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like you can just kind of flip it around, especially if you hold one too.
I mean, I've seen people get them blown. Like, I've seen people get them blown out to where they're not coming back, but they're usually in really super extreme conditions.
Totally. Yeah.
I think that's
you
more.
Gotta be smart about it. Yeah, you gotta be. Yeah. You got to be smart about
Mavic
it.
Air.
Right? No,
yeah, absolutely. Mavic Air 2, I think, I mean, is an absolute beast. I love the fact that they gave us decent alike with that. It just really does open up the door for like a lot of creativity. Now, what's the camera of your choice right now? Are you a Fuji shooter?
Oh man, I'm all over the place. So right now, like, even
I know you are, but that's why I gotta ask.
Yeah, I know. So I would say, like, main YouTube camera. Oh god, I guess so. Like, the XE3 is what's filming me right now.
Okay.
Like, I use that for all my A-roll. I use this for just like talking head shit, like all that kind of stuff. For B-roll, I gravitate towards my GH5. I have a couple of them. I actually have one for sale too, which I'm getting rid of. And then I also have a Pocket 4K, so I have the Blackmagic, which I would use mostly for my more like professional gigs and on client shoots and whatnot.
Do you dig the Blackmagic? I've honestly toyed around. I've had one in my cart like a couple times. I'm like, I'm so invested in Sony glass. I'm like, fuck, do I really want to make a switch? You know what I mean? Like, when you got like lenses with one brand, it's like, fuck, it's like they trap you. It's like the worst trap ever.
Yeah, I don't know how you have some different camera brands.
Well, the one good thing is with the Pocket 4K and my GH5, they're both Micro Four Thirds, right? So I can use the same lenses on my GH5 and my Pocket 4K. So really, the only real outlier in my whole system right now is Fuji. And when I bought the Fuji, I originally went at it being like, I want this to be my still system. I was kind of tired of just like switching back and forth hybrid modes on my cameras. I was like, I just want a stills camera, set it and forget it, because a lot of times I'll have to set up, cameras on sticks and whatnot, and I just want to grab some quick stills. So I was like, let me get something nice. And then I kind of just got sucked into the Fuji cult at that point. And so I've invested way more. Yeah. I've invested way more into Fuji I've invested way more into Fuji than I had originally anticipated. Like, and then to the point where it got so much that like Fuji ended up sending me an XT4, which I got to do a review about.
That's right. I saw you with what's his face. Yeah, you guys were out there doing some street photography.
Yeah, Jesse and I did the X1. Yeah, Jesse Driftwood and I did the X100V, and I think that caught wind of Fuji. So Fuji then sent me an XT4, which I played with for like the last month on a bunch of client shoots and whatnot. So I'll have that review coming. But now I'm looking at that.
Fucking underrated. Like, I really don't understand. Like I watch, so I try to absorb a lot of content. It's really hard, like when you're on YouTube, to like not like sort of adapt other people's habits or styles. Totally. But I watch you, and I don't know you have like sort of a, and I'm not trying to inflate your head here, but
no.
Sort of have like your own unique niche carved out. It's not like really hipster, because you're sort of like, no, fuck you, I'm going to do it my way type of person. But you sort of have like that. I don't know, man. It's like a hybrid. I can't really put my finger on it, but it's an interesting style. But I've seen a lot of work, and I'm like thinking to myself, like, how do you only really have like 20,000? How do people not see you? But you put a lot. Like, I noticed your videos, like you can go like for a long stint of time where there's no content, but then when you drop something, it's like, holy shit. So what's the philosophy behind your creation? Is it Quality over, it's got to be quality over quantity because it ain't quantity.
Yeah, no, for sure. First off, thank you. I appreciate that because I've been a big fan of your work for a long time. Like, as soon as I got into drone stuff, I've been watching your
Thanks,
stuff.
man.
No, I really, seriously. And so, like, I don't know. For me, like, I think that what, like, because I usually get a lot of like young people ask me stuff like that because it's like they all really want to be YouTubers. Like, a lot of people just want to be YouTubers, right? But for me, I don't want to be a YouTuber. Like, for me, it's like a whole like just cool, fun side hobby thing for me because like my real work is I do photography and filmmaking. Like I do client work, right? And so this whole thing for me, it's like I know a lot of guys, especially like my age and doing what I do, they want to be full-time YouTubers. They actually want to get out of the like freelance DP work, whatever it may be. For me, it's like, no, I just want it as like a cool supplementary income thing. It's a fun thing where I'm the client. I don't have to worry about anything. And my deadlines are my own deadlines. So it's like, I don't feel like as soon as I feel like there's that pressure of someone like breathing down my neck to do something, I feel like the videos will be shit right away. So it's like, there could be a time down the road where I'm like, maybe it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, where it's like, okay, there's real money happening here. And it's like a real thing where I could be like, I'll probably weigh the odds out or the pros and cons of like, do I really want to go 100% into this? Or just like, let me just ride this wave, let it be its own thing. It's growing well on its own with like,
it's doing like, excellent, man.
Yeah, thank you. But it's like, that's like my 70% or 60% of like what I'm putting into it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to put too much into it to be disappointed, but I don't want to put too little into it that it does nothing. Right. And so it's like in this, like, kind of just like, you know, it's floating along right now. Well, and I'm just like trying to ride this wave with it for as long as I can.
I think it's so comical though, because I see so many people, and I don't mean to call them tryhards, but
yeah,
they're sort of, you know, you can tell like they're really trying their asses off. But then I see people, it's always funny to watch the people that just genuinely, they're just like, fuck this, I'm just going to do whatever. And personally, I think that's the best attitude to have in things. And I'm not saying to go into work and tell your boss to go fuck them, but but I'm just saying, like, that's the best attitude to have, because that, like, when you have nothing to lose, like when you have nothing to lose, you create the best content, the best absolute possible content you can. When you just go into every single project, like, I don't care really what happens. Sometimes you swing for the fence and you connect, and sometimes you miss, but more often than not, you're going to connect and you're going to get some freaking absolutely banger content. And that's like what I've seen out of your channel. Like, I saw the Moment ad you did for the bag they did, which is pretty shocking. I've seen you've done a lot of stuff with Moment. And Moment's sort of like an interesting brand in general, because like they're a brand, but they also create content as well as of recent, which at first I was like, I don't really vibe with these guys. But then the more like they start doing these vlogs and getting cameras, I'm sort of like, all right, this is actually pretty good, because it's like the stuff you want to see. You want to see those real life things. And like when I watch your stuff, I'm like, all right, I sort of just want to see the real life aspect of things. And it's easy to watch people that like are you know, you don't drop any G's, so I appreciate that. Thank you for not destroying the English language like I do. So much appreciate it. But you know, it's good content. And like I said, I think, you know, that's why I want to bring you on, because especially when I saw the Mavic Mini stuff, I was like, oh shit. And then I saw you got the Mavic Air 2, and just seeing the content that you've been creating, I'm just like, fuck, this is only going to get better. You know, this is only one tool that you have of an arsenal. But you know, that's pretty dope. What do you think of the latest Panasonic camera that just dropped today?
There's a part of me is the reason why I'm selling one of the GH5s, because I'm just like, you know what? Yeah. So I think there's a part of me that's like,
I had a feeling.
Yeah, I've been thinking about having this like sensor trifecta, for lack of a better word, where I'm like, I have a Micro Four Thirds, I've got Super 35 with the Fuji, and then why not add a full frame? And I've just kind of waiting out for like which one's that going to be. And of course, like
the price is right though.
That's what I mean. Like for the price, I can't really like. I'll maybe have to drop an extra $600 after I sell the GH5 to get that kit. So it's like,
so what is that? That runs L glass on that?
It runs the L glass, yeah. And so the kit's going to come with like a 20 to 60 on it, which isn't bad. I'll probably ride that kit lens out for a bit before I decide what I'm going to do with it. But yeah, I mean, like for me with that camera, I think it's like the price is really good. I don't really care about the autofocus and stuff like that, because I have the Fuji, which is fine, right? And like if I'm out on set, I'm not using autofocus anyways, so it's really not.
How's the autofocus on the Fuji?
It's great for what I do. I think it's perfect. I can trust it enough for a talking head video. I can trust it enough even while I'm shooting B-roll. I don't really have any concerns with it. I know a lot of people just like bought XT4s and XT3s, and like they're just, I don't know, for some reason they're disappointed with it. But it's also a camera that's very dependent on the lenses you use. If you try to use Fuji primes, get out of here. It's never gonna work for autofocus. But the kit lens, like this 18 to 55, which sounds like a shitty lens, is not. is perfect for autofocus. I use it all the time for talking head stuff, where I'll like throw stuff up, it catches it, and it comes right back to me, and it's fine. And so like even with the S5, the new Panasonic, like I watched Yuri's like crazy thing on YouTube where he did the Sony A7 III next to the new S5 because that's all he had. I guess.
Saw that.
Yeah. And it's like for what I would do, like I could throw it in APS-C mode if I really needed crazy autofocus, and it's fine. But for what I would want to use it for in full frame, I wouldn't be using autofocus anyways.
Full
right?
stop. I'm glad they didn't give up on that second channel after all that shit with the demonetization happened. Like,
Totally, yeah.
Because I like the fact that, you know, he's been able to let him go off and do his own thing with that Max Tech, because
absolutely.
they put out some good content. I always hated that, like, something happens to somebody's main channel, they start a second channel, and then they bail on the backup. Like I say, fuck it, keep them both. Keep both backup and main. Keep it all rolling.
Absolutely. We see people getting hacked. We see people losing their channels and shit. It's like, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right?
Right. It's insane. I mean, that's why I've went through, and like I never really thought about security until like recently. I'm like, fuck, I better go through and like really think of that. Like I removed my phone number from I scrubbed the internet of my phone number. After all that shit went down.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I'm not having that happen. But yeah, man, I'm digging it. I'm really like I'm sort of torn. Like I want the A7S III, especially for real estate, like doing the videos, because like that low light is so tantalizing. But you know, I'm seeing that a lot of these cameras with the dual ISO, sort of get it done. Like the Blackmagics, they can really get it done. And you know, I guess they probably have an L to E probably mount. Maybe not. I don't know.
I would imagine so. I haven't looked. I probably should, but I haven't looked too much into the all I know is like the L mount is one of the like least supported right now at the moment, for sure. Unless you really want to get.
That's one of the downfalls with that whole system
100%.
Right now.
Yeah, 100%. Like Sigma's just starting to get into it and whatnot. Like it's such an infancy state for like that lens mount that we just haven't seen a whole bunch of third party things come out, or even really good adapters. I will say though, if you were like for a moment thinking about grabbing a Pocket 4K for like real estate and stuff like that, I would just like say absolutely no, don't do it. Don't do it. It's one of the like least ergonomic and like least inspiring cameras I've ever used ever. And that's coming from someone who owns like a Super 8 camera and shit. It's like a piece of crap in terms of like using it. But what's so great about it, it's like it kind of justifies all the bullshit you have to go through, is the image. The image is nuts. Like, you know, I have friends that have ARRI Alexas and all this kind of stuff. And like, we can look at images and be like, you know, I don't think a regular person would ever really tell the difference. And I don't even think some DPs could really tell the difference, to be honest with you. It's just like all that, like for me, I'm such a, like, the camera has to inspire me to create. And if it's not inspiring me to create, I don't want to use it. And that camera, I struggle more than any other camera that I own to like justify the image out of it, because when I want to use it, it's just such a pain in the ass. It's like,
I think the biggest thing that's killing me right now is the fact that, you know, Sony announces this badass camera, and then you got to wait 2 months to even get it in your hands. You know, that's sort of like,
I feel like back order. I bet it's gonna be on back order. I don't know.
You think it's gonna be on back order? I mean, they've had 2 months to freaking manufacture these things.
I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but
I hope you are, because when did we order that unit?
We ordered it, I think October. So we waited like 6 days, I think.
It's not October.
No, not October.
Yeah. I was like, wait, did it come out last October?
am I talking about? I'm doing the future. No.
What day did we order that, Paul? When did they announce it?
Like 7 days after we announced it, or something. I had to look at my order.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Paul! We just probably screwed ourselves. So my hope is that Sony drops like that, whatever that other camera is that's floating around, because we know something else is coming from Sony, right?
Yeah, so like the little smaller one, right? Like that, it's gonna be like a little version of it, whatever.
Yeah, it's gonna be like it's gonna be a
6500 kind of thing.
What are they calling that, Paul?
A mini me.
No, you stupid bastard. What are they calling that?
It's the A7C, or no, the A7C. Yeah, A7C. Yeah.
Oh, here's a question from Jaron Hathaway. It says, Patrick, what would be a good beginner camera for under $1,000?
July 31st is when we ordered it.
Nice. Under $1,000, get something used, because I'm a huge proponent of buying used gear, and you can usually get like a flagship from the last like couple years or so. And you could probably even now, and I've been seeing people grabbing XT3s for even like $900. And I think it's like a really
good deal.
Yeah, and I think it's like an all-around camera for stills and video. Like this thing punches way above its weight class, and I think it was a sleeper camera for a long time in the video side too, because it still does 4K 422, 10-bit, all that crazy stuff, high frame rates, whatever you want. It's just like people look at it and they're like, oh, it looks like an old school 35mm camera. It looks like a film camera. So like I think that people like don't really see it as a video camera, but trust me, the XT3, any of the Fujis really right now, if you can grab one used, you're
so
balling at that point.
XT3 is still a good buy. Is that shoot
100%.
10-bit internal?
It shoots 10-bit internal. It's crazy.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it's Super 35. You're getting the best of both worlds. It's not quite as crappy as Micro Four Thirds. It's not quite as great as full frame, but it like sits in that sweet spot of like portability, right? The lenses aren't massive. Good low light performance. Yeah, no, and good autofocus too.
That color science, Fuji color science is actually phenomenal. Like I'm a big fan of the Eterna profile. Like I think that's is like the best, like straight out of camera experience. And even like the Eterna lot for F-Log looks amazing. I mean, I had some brief experience with the XT3. We did a house with it, and the 4K 60 was like really, really good, really super helpful. Yeah, the fact that you can push colors around and really draw, like you can draw certain colors back out of the imagery, which I thought was really good. The white balance was really solid. That's, I mean, damn, I'm telling you, man.
B-Mac, 20
B-Mac
bucks,
with the,
man.
There it is, slot machine. Yeah, man, buying used. I don't know. I guess I have a phobia of buying things used. Yeah. I will sell things because I know that I personally took really good care of it. You're selling a GH5 though.
I am selling GH5.
You're selling a used GH5, and I know, like, for me, if I was in the market for a GH5, I would buy your GH5 because I know that how you handle your cameras. But like, I think for so many people, like, I don't know, like I have a phobia of buying things used because I don't trust how people handle their shit.
Yeah, you gotta be smart about it. You gotta be smart about it for sure.
What are you talking about, Paul?
I get that EDU discount through B&H, and it's hard to justify buying it used when, you know, for like 100 or sometimes even only $50 more. And then I'd rather just spend that little extra money and get my, you know, use my discount and get it brand new.
Like it depends on the on what it is, on what you're buying, right? It's like I bought Jonathan Morrison's Pocket 4K, right? Like I bought his Black Magic, and so I know who that was, right?
Right, but he meticulously all right. So there's a prime example of somebody who meticulously handles their equipment. And how often was that thing probably even used? He probably used it maybe a few times. So used in Morrison's,
if that.
But I think a lot of us are like that though. Like we use even all these drones I don't use all of them. I rotate them out so frequently. I don't really put a lot of hours on them. So when I sell somebody something, they're probably getting something more pristine. And I'm like super anal about like just anything in general. Like just like the experience that person has, I care about. So I think that's pretty good. I think if you want, Jaron, if you want to piggyback off that, if you do want to buy something used, check out Swappa. They have a used camera market. Great. They got a used camera market now, which is actually pretty good. I don't know if they're getting a lot of traction on that. We drinking, Patrick? I
got a little pale ale.
Oh, you're drinking. You got a Jitsu beer. So fucking, how about that? How come Patrick is drinking, Paul, but you can't even open a freaking proper beer? You just, I swear to Christ, it makes me want to drive to Orlando and just smack you. It's worth the damn toll. Speaking of toll, I got to pay those tolls or I'm going to get a ticket again.
You got to pay tolls? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? I forgot. I forgot my credit card. You know, somebody got skimmed the credit card, so I canceled it and then it didn't hit the SunPass again. So I gotta handle that. You know, Florida and their fucking tolls across the state. Stupid shit.
Oh my gosh, what a ripoff.
But
that's one thing Canada doesn't have. We don't have tolls.
You don't have tolls? Maybe I should move to Canada just in the winter. Or no, just in the summer. Maybe I'll go in the summer.
Yeah, just in the summer.
I don't know if I can handle your winters.
Canada.
I don't know if I can handle. I don't know if I can handle your winters. You've got some brutal winters, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're in Montreal and stuff, it's rough. Like for us, I would say we're only like a 7-hour drive from New York, right? So like a New York winter is a Toronto winter. So if you're ever familiar with that or that kind of vibe, it's like not as quite as bad as like a Chicago, but like it can get pretty rough for sure. Like
Toronto sort of reminds me of like a New York. Like when you walk downtown, it's like got like a Times Square vibe to it.
Oh yeah, it's like I tell people all the time, like Toronto's cool, don't get me wrong, but it's just wanting to be like one more borough of New York. It's like it's always just trying to live up to like some neighborhood in New York, but like it's tiny in comparison. I don't even think it's as big as like Williamsburg. So it's tiny
drones.
That's I guess I got to get up there one day and just fly.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, come out. Yeah,
but it sucks though the fact that I'm not going to be able to fly. Like I don't know how they are with like when you come over the States, like you don't have certifications. I guess I could just bring the Mini, I guess, or
that's what I mean. You bring the Mini, no one would ever care. I used to have the Spark way back. God, I even had a Spark. Shit, I forgot about that. I had a Spark way back in the day, and I used to just bring that with me in my luggage, and no one ever looked at it, never questioned it once. Whereas when I had the Phantom and it was in a giant Pelican case, I'd get second screened like every time I brought it somewhere. Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean that's the laws over there are nuts, right? You have to have a special license, take a test.
I'm wondering how it's going to be next week. I'm flying next week. I'm going to Austin, and it's like I'm gonna take some actual some FPV drones with me, and this is the first time I'm actually traveling with lipos, and I'm just wondering how they're gonna be with those, because I'm like paying attention to like the watt hours on them. Like, oh shit, like if I bring 4 of these, am I over my limit type of thing?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna see how that goes. This will be the first time I go down that route. We'll see how it's going to go.
You're flying, right?
Yeah, I'm flying. I'm actually excited though, because nobody can sit next to me on the plane.
Yeah, totally.
The best time to fly. I got a round trip ticket for $118. Like,
crazy.
That's freaking phenomenal. And it's like, nobody can sit next to me. So I don't have to usually if you fly Spirit or some of the budget airlines, they make you pay for your seat. But why am I going to pay for, I'm not going to choose a seat, because I know no matter what happens, I'm either going to get a window or an aisle.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, I'm gonna get a window or aisle. So it's best day of my life. So it's gonna be absolutely awesome. So yeah, we're gonna do that. I think the only thing you got to pay for is your bags or something like that. So, but Austin's nice.
I guarantee you won't have a single issue. You could bring 6 of those lipos.
Oh no, I'm gonna bring a few of them, because you know what's nice about FPV drones is if there is an issue with it, I'll just throw it in the garbage. I'll just hand it to you. Be like, here you go,
keep it. Have some fun in your backyard,
because it's like they're like $15-20 a battery. So it's not like wait, what? I'm reading. I just saw somebody in the chat. Chat's name is Busty FPV. That's such a fucking awesome name. This is why I swear to Christ, my channel demographics are such in the shitter, because I'm just that type of person. So I don't know. I have just that type of problem. But dude, Patrick, I appreciate you coming on tonight, man, and just hanging out, chatting with us, dude. And the fact that you guys took my.
Sorry, go ahead.
You drank a beer tonight, which is absolutely amazing.
Cheers.
I'm fired.
Yes, Paul. You need Paul at some point. Paul, you need to actually drink something that is not. What are you drinking? What are you drinking, dude?
Me?
Yeah. What you're drinking? Cider. You're drinking cider.
Hard cider, man. Come on, Sony.
You need a Fuji, man.
You need a Fuji XT. I'm telling you, Patrick's actually tempting me, man. What if I just said, screw it today? I sold the A7 III. I sold all the glass, sold the A6600, and just jumped ship and went to Fuji.
I would be freaking amazed. But
I would come out ahead. Because the A7 III is it's a cool drone. It's a cool drone. It's a cool camera. But the problem is, I really do think that bitch is going to be backordered for a while.
Yeah,
you're starting to get impatient, man.
I am getting impatient. Because it's for me, I can use that. I could legitimately use that for low light, for these houses, the 10-bit, the 4K 60. I could use that in what I'm doing. I hate the fact that with the cameras I have now, there's some sort of compromise. I shoot 24 frames per second in these homes and with fans. And if you want to slow it down because you went too fast, optical flow and fans don't mix. No, they don't mix. I found out the hard way.
Yeah.
So you're screwed. And even at 30 frames per second, it's not enough, because you're still going to need optical flow in a sense. Still doesn't mix well. So 4K 60 is that perfect sweet spot.
Yeah.
I think anyways.
Look, honestly, I've never been a huge Sony fan. And there's a couple cameras they've come out with recently that's really put that brand on the radar for me. It's the FX9.
For sure.
It's fucking killer. And then that A7S3, the A7S, what is it now? The A7S 3? What the hell is the new one called? 3, right? A7S3, yeah. That camera, I was with Lee Zavitz. We were on a shoot. I don't know if you guys know Zed Pro Media, Lee.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Dude, I know who Lee is, dude.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
He's next. He's next on the list of coming up, because I feel like he's sort of he gets it.
He's one of those
fuck you type of people too. So I could vibe with that.
Yeah, 100%. So him and I work together a lot now in like our freelance crap, right?
Okay.
And so when that camera came out, we were doing a Porsche job, and he was on his phone like while we were setting up the interview, like buying that camera, and we were talking about it. And I was like, of all the cameras that have come in the last while, like that camera, I do think is like the closest we've seen, at least in our world, which is like we're not shooting up for Netflix, right? So it's like that camera, I think, is like the perfect freelance filmmaker. You know, whether you do real estate, you do talking head corporate videos, you shoot weddings, whatever. That I feel like is the first perfect like all around mirrorless camera, where I really have no issues with it. And it's the only thing I could see people getting upset about is like it's not the best hybrid stills camera, but I don't see it as a stills camera anyways. It's a video camera.
Right.
It's a video camera.
It's a video camera. But I think it's the closest we've seen so far of all the cameras right now. That is the closest to like the perfect camera where that's a 5-year camera for somebody before you need to upgrade again.
Yeah, I mean that's that to me, like that's the problem though. Me being patient, I got to be patient.
You just want it now. You want it now.
You want it now. It's like I have invested in glass recently, so to try to like ease the weight a little bit, but
that 24 GM,
22 days, 22 more days. I mean, this is the first camera that I've actually seen usable log footage from Sony, like for a consumer.
Totally.
Like S-Log's not very usable unless you're outside or good lighting, and even then you're going to see some banding or degradation in the image. S-Log 3 was a complete shit show, and the Cines, I never believed in Cines. I just shoot everything HLG because that's to me that's what's given me the best amount of luck. But I'm beyond freaking stoked. I mean. But part of me sort of like, street that $3,100, $3,400 for a camera. Is it really worth it for the ROI that I could put into maybe another A7 III to have two matching, full frame? It's one of those situations that come up. I guess you're always gonna think that way.
Yeah, you're always like I talked about this with a lot of people all the time. We're all chasing some fucking untangible thing.
Always,
I mean? Like
always.
It's like some psychological like this image quality is going to really set my footage apart from this point forward if I get this camera. You know what I mean? It's like it never happens though. We'll get these new cameras and then like a month later we'll be over it and something else will come out. You know what I mean? But what I would say is like things that can like genuinely make your workflow easier or better, that is ROI. For me, it's not like I think like every camera for the last 4 years
that would be worth it to make it easier to make so I don't have to go back. I feel like for me, like cameras remind me of when I was 18. Like when I was 18, 19, maybe it was like it was 18, 19. No, I was actually 20 because I could drink. I was like 21 actually. Like I remember one year I blew my entire income tax rebate check on lap dances and champagne. Okay, I blew the whole fucking check, dude. I go home and I was depleted. I was absolutely like fuck. I just blew all my tax on strip clubs, like, and it wasn't even worth it. Not even happy.
Like a fleeting memory, like something
for a fleeting memory.
For a memory,
and it's like I feel like that's what's gonna happen when I get this camera. It's gonna be like you just blew $3,100 and you didn't even get a happy ending. So hopefully it's not like that. I'm just saying that's a terrible fucking analogy.
Just compared to the A7S III to a strip club. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, well, if that's not an analogy for you, I don't know what the fuck is. I mean, quite frankly, there it is. I mean, that's how it feels. But you know what I mean? It's like you're gonna go home, you're like, shit, it didn't make anything better. And I think that's how a lot of people are when they look at drones, they look at things, they're always waiting for that next best thing, thinking, oh shit, this Mavic 3. This Phantom 2, this is going to take my imagery to the next level. And it's like, I always tell people, it doesn't matter what you shoot with. You can shoot on absolute shit. But if you are not stroking the brush, fuck, that came out wrong. If you're not, fuck it.
How many years are you at? 2?
Fuck all of you, because you just stop buying stupid shit you don't need, okay? How about that?
Here, I'll tell you, like when I bought the Air 2, I was like expecting like this monumental drastic improvement over the Mini. I was like chasing something that I didn't even need. And then when I flew with it and I looked at the footage, I was like, yeah, it's better. But I wasn't shooting anything better than what I was shooting on the Mini. It was just maybe a little bit crispier. It wasn't 2.7K anymore. It was 4K, right? Whatever. The only things that I love about the Air 2, and this is like that example of like a workflow side of it, is like I'm way more confident in the drone itself and where I can fly with it and how it flies. And I think it's more future proof, and that if I need to crop, and now that they've like crazy updated that firmware to add the zoom and everything, it's like the investment has paid itself off because it has way more features now as opposed to like better image quality than the Mini. You know what I mean? Like I could make a great video with both of those things, but which one would be easier for me? Probably the Air 2. And so if it's easier, that means it was worth my money.
Yeah, that's my thought process on all of this as well. Is that, you know, if it's going to make my life easier, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be painful at first to see that money leave. It's going to be so painful. Rough. But
yeah, it's rough.
You know, I hopefully that's the end of it. But I'm also sort of holding out hope too for that, whatever that budget camera, whatever. I don't even know if it's budget. You're saying A7 IV. You're saying A7 IV?
A7C.
A7C.
It's like a compact. It's gonna be like a compact full frame, but it looks like an A6500 body, right? Like that's the kind of body style.
Pretty much A6600, but with a full frame sensor.
Interesting.
And a flip out. Pretty much they're taking all the best stuff from the A7 S3. Supposedly, and putting it into it, like the flip out screen, the new touch menu.
I feel like that's going to be like something that's going to distract people.
Like hey, we're saying they're going to have 10-bit in it too. So I don't know.
That's a big deal. How big of a deal to you is 10-bit, Patrick?
I mean, for client work, yeah, it's a pretty big deal because we usually want to shoot that stuff. Yeah, I think like usually it depends on the camera though, because like the C200 is an example. Like a Mark II C200 only shoots 8-bit unless you shoot 12-bit RAW. But the 8-bit on like a C200 is very different than an 8-bit on like an A6400 or something, right? It's like you can push that codec and that 8-bit basically anywhere. In comparison, even like my GH5's 10-bit, right? So it's like it's so camera dependent, but at the same time, I do so much YouTube stuff specifically in 8-bit just to like save space and time. You know what I mean? Like I'm not doing crazy grades. I'm not pushing things. I just tell people if you don't have an issue right now with your 8-bit, 10-bit won't offer anything new for you. If you're not pushing,
what do you shoot? You shoot log or no?
I'll shoot log sometimes. Like for YouTube stuff, I'm like, because again, like I'm a bit lazy when it comes to the YouTube side of stuff. I'll shoot baked in color profiles. You know, I'll shoot like Eterna on the XT3 if I want to.
Your color grades always have that sort of matte finish.
Little faded. Yeah, totally.
A little fade.
Yeah, a little fade to it. And then
have you ever like thought of doing like a color grade tutorial for anything, like to sort of
I'm so like what's the word for it? Like I'm just so haphazard that I feel like people would be like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck.
But I like that. I'm about the haphazard. I'm the same way. I don't script anything, so it's just like I sort of just let it go, and then it's like a lot of F-bombs as things don't work out and a lot of reshoot. But I'm sort of the same way, but I can always tell when somebody's sort of just shooting from the seat of their pants. I'm about that life though, like that. Just let it rip. I don't want to be organized because I feel like the whole reason behind YouTube is not to be organized, not to be scripted, not to feel like you're watching TV. Like that's not why people come here to watch this content. You know what I mean? I don't want to like pretend to be a thought leader. You know what I mean? Like that's not who I want to be. Like I don't want to be this like who's sitting on some pedestal that like only my way is the only way to do it. Like a lot of what I'm doing is like shit, I can do it too. So if I could do it, I'm sure you could probably do it, right? And so it's like if I'm figuring it out and I'm hacking my way through this, it doesn't have to be like the proper way to do things. You don't have to shoot 10-bit. You don't have to have all your shutter speeds right all the time. Like all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I get it as the whole professional side of it, but like I also don't want to discourage people from making things because like we all cut corners, we all do stuff to get it done, right? And so I think like that's a weird area to live in on YouTube because you either get like ridiculed by a bunch of people because it's like you don't know what you're talking about, or like us, like we embrace it because it's like, no, he kind of does know what he's talking about because this is actually how we do it, where he's not bullshitting it, right? And so it's like you kind of got to, it's like a very, very fine line. But my one hesitation is like with the color, I know that community can be like really stingent about like, oh, you need to use your vector scopes and here's the skin line on this. It's like, get out of here. Like, you know how many times I've seen that? Like 3 times in my life. You know what I mean? Like I look at it. I always die when I see that. Like, you know, I get emails like, you know, I'll put out some tutorials and stuff. And I always tell people, one of the stipulations I tell people is like, just because it works for me doesn't mean it's one size fits all. But a lot of people say, well, Parker Walbeck says to do it like this. And I say, listen, is Parker charging you for that fucking full-time filmmaker or filmmaker, whatever the fuck his name is?
Full-time filmmaker.
Yeah. Is he charging you for that? And they say, well, yeah, I'm paying for it. I said, okay, I'm not charging you, so go fuck yourself. That's my standard response when somebody you know says that, because it's like, you know, what works for him is not going to work for me, and what works for you is not, you know, vice versa. Anyways, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Before he hightails it out of here, I want to ask Patrick something. A pizza oven that's like $3,000.
It's not $3,000. It's $1,000.
Okay.
$1,000.
Okay, let's hear. What I want to hear the story.
So you bought a pizza oven?
I bought it. Yeah, we bought a pizza. My girlfriend and I bought a pizza oven, and
You bought
it's
a
a
pizza
very
oven?
yeah. It's a specific. It's called a unitasker, which is like a terrible thing for anybody to buy because it means it only does one thing in your kitchen, right?
But it's
And
supposed
so
to be unitask though.
it's unitask one thing. It just makes one task, and that's to make a pizza. And like maybe you could throw a pan in there if you wanted to, and like roast some broccoli, I guess. But
Okay.
it's called the BREW Pizzaiolo. So if anybody's familiar with BREW products, usually
Oh yeah, they make great espresso
kind of
machines that
yeah,
leak.
yeah. So we have like the BREW Barista Express too, like the espresso machine, right? Which we bought after the pizza oven because the pizza oven was so great. But yeah, so every Friday we do Pizza Friday, and so it got to this point where I was like, I've maxed out what I can do in a conventional oven, and it was like, ROI, or now it's like ROP, like return on pizza. I had like maxed out what I could do with a conventional oven, so we bought this pizza oven, and it's been like one of the best things we've ever bought because it's like our pizzas went from like 0 to 100 with this thing. And so if you're really into pizza, it's like a Tesla. It pays itself off over time because you're not ordering pizzas anymore. You make them at home, right?
I'm flabbergasted at the fact that you bought a pizza maker.
Yeah,
but I'm also impressed. I don't know.
Well, he takes
sort of
some
in the middle of
amazing
this.
pizza photos.
I know that.
Your
I know.
pizza looks amazing. I mean, it makes me hungry
you.
every time I see it.
I don't know what to do with my
Thank you.
hands at this point. I feel like Ricky Bobby is like, I just want a piece of pizza. Patrick, thanks for coming on, man. I know, like a lot of times people come on the show, they really don't know what they expect because it is what it is. But
that's my vibe. That's my vibe.
You sure, dude, are a good guy, and I don't care what Gary says about you. You keep doing what you got to do, dude.
I love watching that.
Appreciate it.
All right, you see
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. So check him out, Patrick T. Links in the description below. Go show him some love.
Go
Cheers,
show
guys.
him some love.
See ya.
Guys,
That was a good conversation. Great fucking conversation. I feel like he sort of talked me out of a Sony A7S III for a Fuji.
Fuji. You don't need to go get the Fuji. It's okay. Stay with Team Sony.
Paul, I'm gonna get myself a Fuji, Paul. What did that sound like, Paul? Did that sound like
That was a terrible. That was terrible.
that was terrible?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, fuck you. So, Paul, here's what's happening right now. So, in the chat, this immediate moment, there is Jenna C, who I know holds down the demographic of my female audience.
Absolutely, Jenna. Thank you
Jenna.
so much.
Jenna is a warrior in the audience. And then we now have Busty FPV. This seems a little bit suspect. This Busty FPV, though, has 25 subscribers. I just stalked their channel because I'm thinking we're being punked, Paul. We're being punked. Who in their right mind names their channel Busty? That's like me going on tomorrow and saying Stubby FPV. Stubby FPV, Paul. That's my channel. Second channel is Stubby FPV.
No.
I'm doing it, Paul. My channel's going to be Stubby FPV, Paul.
I can't verify that one. I'm sorry.
Yes, you can, Paul. It's going to be Stubby FPV.
Okay.
I'm doing it, Paul. I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
You can also call
it
Limp
Paul. I'm doing it, Paul. I'm doing that. You can't stop me, Feinberg.
I technically could. I mean, I have really serious control over your channel right now. It's kind of
really do. You really do, but don't let that out because we don't want that out. But you know what? Here's the deal. I've made you a channel partner. You're now emotionally and physically invested into this channel, Paul. Like, I feel like this is I can't wait till you start producing videos. I can't wait till your review of the Evo 8K hits the channel. Here we go. Richard Ariel said super chat for Paul's beer fund.
Wow, that's hilarious.
Oh, and Paul says, I'm going to go to the grocery store and get some beer. Nope.
Beer.
Nope, because tomorrow, if you don't drink beer, Paul, I'm going to choke slam you next stream, Paul. God damn it.
Now I feel like I have to drink it because he just bought me some. It's almost like you go out with somebody to drink. You can't turn down a drink when somebody offers a buy.
I asked, so here, before the show, I had a conversation with your wife. And I said, hey, what's the deal with Paul not drinking? And she said, I've tried to push him to have just a sip, just the smallest sip, and he won't do it, Ken. He won't do it. I've begged, I've pleaded, I've threatened to take away his access to Netflix, and he still will not have a beer on behalf of Drone Brews. He won't do it. He won't do it. And I said, well, you know what? Here's what you're going to have to do, Chelsea. Here's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to lock his office door and threaten to throw away the key. That's about all you can do. That's about all you can do. So, I mean, listen, I'm trying. I'm in everything short of doing intervention to get you to have a sip. Just a proper beer. Just a proper beer.
What is a proper beer? Would you say a Stella? Would you say a Stella is a proper beer?
This is Nutter Cup, Paul. This is the channel non-sponsor. We try to get a sponsor. How'd that work out for us?
We're trying. Interesting.
We're trying. Paul's been religiously emailing beer companies trying to find us a proper sponsor. How's that working out, Paul?
Yeah, I think I need to look more in Florida. Yeah, probably.
Because the problem is shipping.
Yeah, because they won't ship it.
They won't ship us beer. Like, why? All right, so here's a genius idea. What if like ABC Liquor or somebody or like one of these stores was a point, like a hub, like you order beer, you ship it to ABC, and there's a fee that ABC charges to distribute that beer to you, right? How genius would that be? They can call it like Brew Hub. Wait, there already is a Brew Hub. Oh. There already is that. They can call it Brew Post or something like that. Fuck, I just gave away the idea. I don't know, dude. I've opened 3 beers. I intended upon one, and then the whole conversation with Patrick went sideways over the XT4, and I'm trying to inebriate myself to forget how awesome it was. What do you think I should do, Paul? What do you think I should do, Paul? Paul, what do you think?
I want to see the A7 S3, and you're the only chance I have.
You're right. You needed a hero. You needed a hero. So let's do this. Let's talk about this. Dennis Maxey with a $5 super chat.
Thank you, Dennis.
We got the slot machine going on. Thank you so much, Dennis. I do appreciate that. I truly do. I want to thank each and every one of you all for being part of this degenerate community that we have built here at this channel that takes place every single Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Every single Wednesday night, we have a new guest. Paul clearly doesn't drink beer. And we talk and walk. And what is that, Paul? What was that, Paul?
It was my chair. I need some WD-40.
What the hell, Paul? What the hell, Paul?
I promise it was only my chair. It was.
What was that, Paul? Producer Paul. Producer Paul.
I mean, at least you only cut me off once today.
You know, I only fired you once. You know what it is, Paul? I'll tell you why I only fired you once today, Paul. Because it's your first day back from your vacation. You obviously had a good couple of days off. Jake did a phenomenal job. Might I add you, Jake did a great job filling in for you. I almost
it scared me a little bit there. I
almost was like, I was Jake and I were really sort of vibing. I didn't have to fire him one time. I don't know what he was drinking. He was drinking sweet tea. He had to go pick his wife up from the airport, he said. Which I'm pretty sure that means he had to fly to the airport, because that's what you do in Alaska. You fly to the airport. You don't.
It reminds me of one of those Gerald and Dunn videos where you take like the sponsored studio. You know,
I was going to give Ken money, but he threatened me. Hey, Cigar Nation Warrior, what the fuck are you talking about? Fuck you. He says I was going to give Ken money, but then he threatened me. Who don't I threaten? Who? Look at all these gold fly logos, Paul. Look at all these gold fly logos. You know what that means, Paul? When you see a gold fly logo, that means you've been in the Brew Crew for 1 month. 1 month you've been a member of the channel. You have the constituents. You have the access to the Brew Crew private live streams, also the Brew Crew subreddit. You have access. We don't have a subreddit yet, but we should have a fucking subreddit. No, does anybody even know how to use that shit? I don't. We need to make ourselves a what do they have, that other thing, Paul? The chat. What is that chat?
The community group?
No, Paul, no. The chat, Paul.
The chat.
What do they call that thing? It's like a chat.
The phone app, the app.
What is that? No. What's Discord? That other thing? Some Discord. Yes, we need a Discord. We need a fucking Discord to connect with the audience, Paul. We need a fucking Discord. God, how does all these people know what I'm talking about, Paul? But you can't read my mind, Paul. All these people said Discord, Discord, Discord,
They said it after I said it. I mean, only reason why I knew that is because that we had Discord group for camera camp, and that was the only reason why
I want to disclose something with you, Paul. I've switched my schedule up. So usually lately, so my wife's not been happy about Drone Brews because she feels it takes away time. So basically what I've done is I've moved relations to Tuesdays. So now Wednesdays are free and clear. So I used to go for 1 hour on Tuesday or Wednesdays because, you know, you got to do your due diligence as a husband. So I've now moved the debauchery. So now we stream for an hour and a half, potentially 2. I don't know. I have no idea. It's wherever the crowd takes me. But I think what we need to do, Paul, is where is my phone? We need to open up the
have a open it up just to for anybody to pop in.
Is that what we want to do, Paul? We want to open ourselves to that risk, Paul, or do I want to create a burner? I'm going to create a new burner. I've got an available line. I'm going to call this Drone Brews, Paul. We haven't done this in a while where people could call in.
Right.
I'm going to set this up for an 813 area code. I'm going to try to find the most convenient phone number available to us, Paul. I would say that this is probably the most convenient phone number that we can choose, Paul. I love this app, but I'm not going to rate it. So thank you. Okay. So we now have officially set up a new phone number. So Paul, here's the phone number, Paul. I want you to type into the chat, Paul. Paul, are you typing?
Wait. Oh, okay.
Paul.
Ready,
Paul, are
ready,
you typing?
I'm ready, sir. I'm typing.
All right. So here's the Drone Brews hotline. If you want to call in, make a total schmuck bag of yourself, here's the phone line you can call in. The number is 813-515-0186. Again, that number is 813-515-0186. And if fucking Bob White calls busting my balls about a V-copter, I'm going to fly to Vegas and kick his fucking front door in. Okay, Paul? You understand me?
Sounds great.
Okay.
About like a boxing match?
Well, that's not happening. He's now in the hospital, so RIP.
You put him in the hospital? How dare you?
He's in the hospital.
That was not very nice.
I talked to him.
You talked to the guy?
I did. I wished him well yesterday. Oh, hang on, we got a phone call. Paul, shush, we got a phone call, Paul. Okay, we're gonna take in this call, Paul. Okay. Hello, you're on Drone Brews.
What the fuck is a V-copter? How can I rag you about
God,
son
of a bitch. Bob, I swear I'm gonna fly to freaking Vegas, you son of a bitch. You got Bob White, damn you mother effer. I just hung up on Bob White. Can you believe that son of a bitch? Holy crap, he's got the fastest fingers in the West, Paul. He's got the fastest fingers in the West. Did you see that? See that, Feinberg?
Yes.
I spit all over my screen, Paul. Somebody's calling, Paul. I got this. This is a new caller, Paul.
All right.
I'm going to call.
Press 1 to start the call or 2 to decline. The call will start at the beep.
The place order to go or for here?
This is to go for a delivery. Send Busty FPV with it.
Oh, is it Busty FPV? Is it?
Yeah, I tip extra for cleavage.
Oh, you tip extra for cleavage. Well, you're on the right show for that. Here, you tip 10. I'm gonna give you a little bit of cleavage right about there. Again, our female demographic just dropped another 0.5%. I digress. Who's on the line with me?
Hey, this is Bill Cigar from Colorado.
Hey, Cigar Nation Warriors. How the fuck you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm still above ground.
That's good.
Amazing.
That's good. Every day you're awake's better.
I had a serious question.
Okay.
On the FPV thing.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have altitude hold, so it takes some real skills. And as you pointed out in the beginning, you're going to crash. And I haven't really jumped in on it. And I'm wondering, I got a couple little, $25, $30 toy drones that I got, years ago, but they don't have altitude hold.
Practice on them.
If maybe for old farts like me, that might be a way to kind of work on some skills, holding that altitude, moving the drone around, before I start dropping all my cigar money on an FPV. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, here's my thing for anybody. If you're looking to fly FPV, whether you're 20 or whether you're 98 years old, banging the nurses in the retirement home, it doesn't matter. What you should do is get yourself a simulator. Get into a simulator and start practice on a simulator, because no matter what, at the end of the day, a simulator is free to crash and you don't have to fix anything. So practice in a simulator, because I'm not going to lie, the simulators, if you get a controller, an RC, they're pretty damn close. I'll tell you, it's maybe like 85 to 90% of the way to real life. You get 90% there and you're golden. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
So
I can look at like a Radio Master or a T16.
Yeah, get a Radio Master or T16's good. They got the T18s that are out, which are phenomenal. I mean, I use Liftoff. Like Liftoff is probably the best, for the price. I mean, it gets a little redundant sometimes. Like I'd use it on rainy days and I used it a lot. Now I just break shit and fix stuff, and I just use FPV as a way to, you decompress, you fix things, you decompress, or you beat up Paul. You don't have a Paul, but if you did, you'd beat him up. But yes, you would.
That's great advice, because I hadn't thought about using a simulator on the computer with a radio.
Yeah.
And just slowly build up those skills, because I don't have the eye-hand coordination you young flyers have. No,
that's bullshit. That's a bullshit excuse, because I saw a guy that was out at the event with Ken Herron. He was probably 65, almost 70, Sully, and he was just tearing it up. And I said to him, what's your vision? He said, it's like 40-40 or 20-20. I forgot what his vision was. It's fucked up though. Yeah. But he was still flying. And I'm like, this guy is amazing. And him and I were ripping through the cemetery, just being absolute degenerates. And it was awesome. So you can do it. I love
those cemetery shots when you follow.
Yeah, you got to do it, because you want to remind yourself you're above ground. So cool. It was like a flyover. It's like your respectful flyover. Like, here's some flowers. So I would say just do it. Just do it. Jump into it full force, and you'll thank me later. You'll still be above the ground, and we'll be chatting, smoking, and drinking, and all the things.
Hey, I'll send you some beers.
Well, if you can figure out how, because I think right now the DEA is staking outside my house. So you let me know. I'll meet you. I'll meet you halfway to wherever you are.
That's a bummer. Hey, listen, thanks for that great advice. I appreciate all you do, bud.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you, man, and keep smoking, toking, and doing the whole shenanigans.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right, Cigar. I'll talk to you later, brother.
Bye.
See ya. What a good guy, dude.
Yes.
Classic. Who are you on the phone with, Paul?
I'm not on the phone with anybody. Jenna C is in the comments. She uses Liftoff, it looks like.
Yes, Jenna C is in the comments, yes, and she does use Liftoff, and Liftoff is really good, Paul. Liftoff is what I use, and I think Liftoff is probably the best, one of the best simulators. She calls it a stimulator. I am not going to disagree with her on that. I'm not going to disagree, because it does stimulate your mind. But it is good. What about the DroneWorks FPV drones? It's done. We've got the first ever prototype. It's on the wall back here. I'll give you guys a first ever sneak peek.
All right. Maybe if you haven't been watching him on Twitter, he's been posting photos of this FPV drone. So go follow on Twitter. You'll get your one. Oh, there it is.
This is it. This is going to be the DroneWorks Shendrone Squirt, one of the only fully ready to fly kits that you can get. It's a combination of some of the best parts that you can get right now today. So obviously all DJI FPV, This runs 6S. Now, I know you're probably thinking to yourself, why the hell would you want to give anybody 6S? Well, it's tuned enough to give you exceptional battery life. So it's tuned to be about 6 minutes of battery life with a GoPro Hero 8. If you're not really ripping on it, you can sort of push it to about 7 minutes, but that's on the high end of things. It has 3100 kV motors that I've dialed back to be more of a 2800 kV. They're a bit larger on the stator size, so it can really handle a heavier load than even a GoPro Hero 8. It has a specific stack from Healy Nation. It's got an F7 Talon stack, which is awesome. And then obviously the DJI Air unit. The best portion of this all is that this drone is going to be ready to fly, super easy to fix should you crash it. So that's the big thing. If you crash this drone, these are super easy to fix. That's the reason why I chose the Shendrone Squirt, because of all the Cinewhoops, these are really easy to fix. We're going to include a crash warranty on these. So if you blow an ESC, if you blow a motor, whatever the case is, we will be able to replace it, fix it, send it back out to you. Target goal upon fixing is we're aiming for 24-hour turnaround time. So by the time we receive it to the point we fix it, 24 hours. That's what we're aiming for. We hire 2 guys that's all they're going to be doing is fixing shit. So, but we run a tune. We've tuned all these just like the other one I have. And like I said, I get some awesome shots with this and I'm really happy with it. Like literally out of the box, this will be one of the only Cinewhoops that you have a full-fledged video instruction on how to use it. Like all you have to do is power up your goggles, flip a switch, and you're good to go. Put your battery in, you are ready to go. They are going to come with 3 batteries. So if you're concerned about figuring out how to charge them or anything, we've taken literally all the guesswork out of it. So
what's the price range going to be on this thing?
You know, because we're selling them as a kit only. So we're selling them as a kit only. The only way I'm breaking these separately is if somebody already has the DJI FPV system. So by themselves, just by themselves, they're $449 for the drone. So $449 for the drone by
That's
itself.
not bad.
No, but you got to factor in like it is sort of expensive because you do need a GoPro or something similar. Like this is a Hero 8 mount, but you're going to need a GoPro. So that's $400. So you have 400 plus 400, that's 800. And then the FPV system to power this. So you're looking about probably 1300 after all setting done with batteries. So, and that comes with the charger. So about 1349 after taxes.
You buy goggles or by yourself as well?
No, the goggles are going to come with the kit and it's already going to be pre-bound. So whoever buys these will not have to bind anything. Like literally every time I buy a drone, I have to bind it. You have to bind it. You have to do something. Nobody's going to have to go into beta flight to do anything on this. And if something breaks, they can send it back to us and we'll fix it for them.
Do you use the DJI goggles with those?
Yes, you use the DJI goggles. So, yeah, it's like I said, 100% ready to fly out of the box. So, really happy with this. I'm going to be releasing a video probably Sunday on this, showcasing some of the footage that we've been able to get out of these Cinewhoops. I think if like you're somebody who has never flown before, you'd probably want to, again, do a simulator first. But if you're somebody sort of intermediate, like you've flown and you sort of understand how to fly, then this would be awesome for you. So $449 on these units. Yeah, they're really exceptional. And like I said, they have a great flight time because that 6S battery, you can stay up in the air for about 5.5, 6 minutes, which I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but in FPV terms, that's a long time to stay up in the air. So, so $1349 will be drone, controller, and goggles. Drone, controller, goggles. So that's the whole thing. So, yeah. Akaso, I would probably skip the Akaso because you're not going to want an Akaso. I'll show you why. So let me see. I don't know. Can I share a video from my screen, Paul?
You should be able to. Click share screen.
How do I share a video suite? Is that it? Is that showing this, Paul? It's not showing it. Fuck, why is it showing? I know, it's pissing me off. How do I show a video, Paul?
You click share screen. You click on the
no, Paul. It's not letting me. It's not letting me share a video clip like that, Paul. Let me see if this is gonna let me. drop a video. Let me see, Paul. Let me see. Paul. I'm uploading a video clip, Paul.
Okay.
See if it's going to let me share this video clip.
Somebody was asked, let's see here. So you're saying $449, and that's
going to be the drone only. Drone only,
okay.
$449 drone only.
Drone only.
And I sort of derived at that price point just because of the time and the parts that we put in it. We're not like the margins aren't like unlike. So you got 149 for the air unit. You have about $40 for the frame. Ducks stacks about $100, and then labor to put it together.
So are you guys are all putting that together?
Yeah, we're assembling them in house. Like vast majority of them will be built by Zach. I'm tuning all of them. So each one of them, and when I say tuning them, I already have a tune that works with this particular stack. So literally all we have to do is I just copy this tune from this one, and it's the same thing. So
it's cool.
Yeah. So Shendrone Squirt, like you can build these. You can build these obviously yourself. Like if you want to build this, you can definitely tackle that and build this yourself. Like 100%, you can build this. But it's, that's the problem is most people don't have the time or patience to sit there and build something like this. So they want to buy it. But the problem is with the Shendrone Squirt, there really isn't a ready to fly kit that's available. And the other thing that I've noticed is a lot of these stores don't really support, they don't support digital, which is sort of sad, man. Like a lot of people don't really care about the digital scene. Like I'm all about digital. So that's the reason why I want to utilize that. So I don't know why that's not letting me. Oh, here it is. Actually, I got that clip. So
fabulous.
Let me play a clip. This is going to be tomorrow's video. I'm going to say, here's tomorrow's video, Paul. That's tomorrow's video. So tomorrow that releases, which I'm pretty excited about that quad as well. So that was not this drone. That was a different one, but that's tomorrow's video. So be sure to show that video some love when that drops tomorrow. Tomorrow, Paul. Tomorrow never dies, Paul.
We got Mr. Oh, who is it? Sorry. Oh, Walter Hall. We already talked about that jetpack guy.
Oh yeah. Fuck that jetpack guy. Jetpack man is like super like of all the weird things to have go through in 2020. Now we're dealing with jetpacks. Like seriously, I mean, what the freak? Brad Hendo asks, you said it will be easy to repair. Will it be like a Beagle drones or require soldering? So everything on this drone is going to require soldering to repair. So it's not something you're going to be able to swap motors out. If you have to repair it, you send it into us and we can repair it for you. And it's a 24-hour turnaround time like when we receive your drone, it's 24 hours. We'll get the drone back to you. Here's the reality. If you're going to get into FPV, anybody, like seriously, anybody who's getting into FPV, you're going to have to get over the fear of soldering. Soldering is inevitable. And I'm going to tell you right now, I knew nothing about it when I first started, but they sell practice kits for one. You can go anywhere and get a practice kit. And there's all sorts of soldering tools available. And I use the T100 soldering iron. And that thing works awesome. It's like a little pen. And honestly,
it's not that bad. I think
it's not bad.
You just need to get a really fine pointed tip. I think when you're starting,
exactly, and that's exactly what I have. And honestly, it's not hard to solder. I'm so glad I do, because like I fixed three different drones this week, and I built a shit ton this week. I built this one, I built the 7-inch quad, and I just rebuilt my Source 1. So I built 3 quads in the span of 3 days. So I mean, it's just, you got to do it. You got to do it.
I never built one before. I think it'd be fun.
Ethan Mitchell is in the chat. I got to give a big, huge, monumental thank you to Ethan Mitchell. So a lot of my 3D prints that I get, Ethan's designed. When I have an issue with a 3D print, Ethan fixes it. He figures out what the problem is, renders it out, and designs it for me. Ethan is absolutely amazing. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, check out his channel, because he's like a little fucking genius. He's like a genius. And honestly, Ethan, I mean this 100%. Thank you so much for always modifying and fixing everything I screw up. Thank you, dude. Why doesn't Ethan have a wrench? This may be the first time I've seen Ethan in here a while. Thank you.
Wrench him up.
Wrench him up. Robert C doesn't have a wrench. We're gonna wrench him up.
Brad Hendo asks, and I know the answer to this question. It's can you use a gaming controller in a FPV simulator? And the answer is yes.
Yes, you can, but you're not going to have the same experience. You're not.
Right.
I feel like just use your art. Get a Tyrannus or something and just use that, because you're going to at least have that same granular control. It's going to feel somewhat similar. Simulation.
Well, that's the thing too, especially for you. Those finger pinchers. I'm actually trying to change my way. I'm a thumber guy.
You're trying to change your ways, Paul?
I'm trying to change my ways and be a pincher, because I feel like you get a little bit more control that way. But
Paul, you do. You gotta pinch. If you're not pinching, you're not doing it right, Paul.
I know. I'm a failure. I know.
All right, Ford Trucker says, I really love your stream on Wednesdays. Keep it up. You get yourself a wrench just for the compliment. How about that? I was accused of giving out wrenches, too many wrenches. That I was the Oprah Winfrey. Let me rephrase that.
B-Man's waiting for a package.
B-Man? Who the fuck's B-Man? Where's he at?
He said, Original Dobo, speaking of wrenches, you ever gonna get that freaking package to me?
Oh shit, that's right. I gotta so here's the deal. B-Man sent me some stuff to the P.o Box, but Zach has access to the P.o Box. He never gave me my key to it. So Zach has been in Louisiana dealing with the hurricane shit, doing the site scans and dealing with all the down power lines. So he's back today. Zach is back. He was due back today at some point. So I'll see him tomorrow, because Zach has my Osmo 4, the OM4. I don't know what I'm doing with that. That thing's a piece of shit, but whatever. He's got that, and he's got some other things of mine, such as something with an S, ends with an Onan. So I've got to get that. What?
Huh?
What?
No,
I can't tell you.
You can't. No.
We've got some.
If you're doing it during the week, though, you might need help with that.
We've got some exciting things on the 9th of September. We can't say all the things, but we've got some things.
Well, yeah, we have special guest Say Park, the gimbal master.
So next week we've got special guest Say Park. Paul, I drink a lot, and I'm so glad tomorrow's Friday.
I wish it was Friday.
It's Friday for me, motherfucker.
It's Friday for me.
It's Friday for me, motherfucker.
Oh, are your vacation start tomorrow?
I don't know. I just stopped working basically at some point throughout the week. I just stopped. Denny Ross. Let's give Denny Ross Denny Ross.
Robert C, $5.
Robert C with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Robert C. I really do appreciate the $5.
I didn't know if you were trying to do an Aaron Neville there or what, but
$5. What do you want me to play? Air guitar, Paul? Paul, you want to move? I'll pay I'll pay you never to do that again, you son of a bitch, Paul. Oh Jesus, I'll pay you again, never. I'll pay you. Paul. I missed you last week, Paul. I missed you.
Listen, I'm hoping I'm going on vacation again.
Here we go.
To a cabin.
How is it that you get more vacations than me? I have to be here every Wednesday, Paul.
But I think that one, my mother-in-law is going to be with us, and so I think I can slip away that one Wednesday night to still be a part. I won't be in my studio, but I'll be in like a cabin room. I don't know. Maybe I'll sit in the hot tub with a beer while I don't know.
Paul, you. So here's the deal. Here's what's happening this month, the month of September. Here's what's happening this month of September. One, here's what's happening. I'm going to be studying for my recurrent 107 exam. And you know what?
I should study with you so I can pass mine for the first time.
So I have a website called Able Drone Test. It's probably the most affordable 107 site that I've found. And it's the most affordable site that I found, abledronetest.com. There's a lot of big sites, but they all want like $300 for their test. And this one was the cheapest. So I'm like, you know what? I just need some good material, something that I can test up against. So I'm doing the Able Drone Test. A matter of fact, one of our subscribers developed that site, so I thought that was pretty cool. abledronetest.com. So I'm going to use that to study, and that's what I'm going to do. But then I'm flying next week to Spin Up. I'm a host. Oh, we got a phone call. Hang on one second. How do they remember this fucking number? Hello. Yes, you're yes, this is he. This is him. I am here.
Hey, it's J-Mo. How you doing?
What's going on, Jay? What's up, brother?
Hey, okay, man. You've been a busy cat, huh?
I've been all over.
Say hello now that you got a new number.
Yeah, no, it's so these lines, this thing is like it's a fictitious number. It's not a real number. It's like a burner number. So they generate new numbers. Yeah, exactly. So like every month you get a new number, because this stripper kept calling me and she was like, "Hey, I need my money." I'm like, "I don't have your money." But those things tend to happen. I'm not saying it does.
You didn't need a loan? I'll give you a loan.
No, I'm good, man. I'm good with that. That's why I use a burner. Oh Jesus! Right now, Paul is giving me the eye that he's ready to put his foot up my ass tonight. Paul Feinberg. You see. Look at Paul's face. Jay, look at his face. You're 10 seconds behind. You look at his face. I don't know if I trust this guy, Paul. So a couple of things. This is what I noticed happened yesterday by your house. They repaved your road, the Elwood. They repaved Elwood.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I went blazing down. I passed by. I honked on my skateboard as I flew by. I was like, "Hey, J-Mo!" I honked. So,
in the rain, it's been raining too much.
Dude, I found brakes, man. I found brakes, man.
It's like going on the beach.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is like going on the beach. So what I'm gonna do is here's what I'm gonna do for the Florida guys, because we got a lot of Florida guys. So
the dark side's being bothered. Look at him.
I know he doesn't know what's going on. We're gonna be having a meetup here in Hernando pretty soon. So we're gonna do a drone meetup. When I get back from Spin Up this next go, we're gonna do like a whole meetup. I'm gonna barbecue. So I don't know if that's legal at this point, but we're gonna do it.
I'll help you out. Don't worry about it.
All right, bro. All right, man. I'm gonna tell.
Nice talking to you, Ken.
All right, brother. Thanks for being here. All right, Will, brother. Bye.
Okay.
So funny story about J-Mo. That's J-Mo. This guy, I didn't realize this is how small the world is. He lives here, like here in my county. He lives here. And I went over the one day to his house, right? Brought him over for ND filters. I had to bring ND filters over. Anyways, bring him the ND filters. And his wife makes coffee, puts on this whole beautiful spread of food and stuff. I was like, this is freaking great. And he's so close. So I'm like thinking to myself, do I go to Starbucks every day or do I just go to JMo's house because JMo has better coffee than Starbucks? I think I just go to JMo's house.
I think a lot of people have better coffee than Starbucks.
They make good coffee. His wife makes great coffee. I'm not going to lie. So, it is what it is, man. It's good coffee. Paul, you okay, Paul?
Why would I be okay? Why not be okay?
I don't know, Paul. You look sad, Paul. Why are you sad, Paul? Why are you sad?
I'm not drinking a real beer, and it's hard. I'm fine.
June Locke says, Sim suck ass, get some real stick time in, please. Well, when somebody's learning, when they're learning,
you don't want to crash. You don't want to spend a lot of money.
They don't want to destroy a bunch of shit and have to sit there and fix it. Sim works to get the overall feel. So yeah,
are Sims expensive?
And then get some real stick time. What's that?
Are Sims expensive? Are they free or you pay money for them?
It depends on which one you get. I mean, some of them are free. Some of them cost money. I bought Liftoff, and that worked. Or yeah, like Jake said, just get a Whoop. Or I'm sorry, Juke said just get a Whoop. I started out on a Tiny Hawk, and Tiny Hawk worked pretty good. Okay. I wrecked a bunch of shit starting out. I destroyed a lot of stuff. Paul, I'm not gonna lie. I've had a little bit to drink here, Paul. Feel pretty good.
Only a little bit?
Only a little bit. You know what I really love about Wednesdays? Paul, here's what I love about Wednesdays, Paul. Send it. Ayato and Tina, send it.
What do you like about Wednesdays?
Paul,
we're waiting for you,
take
buddy.
A piss, Paul. Paul, I got to take a piss, man. You drink so much alcohol, you just gotta let it rip, dude.
You can't hold your liquor, huh?
No, I can't hold the liquor, dude. Fuck, can't do it. I don't even know why we have the best show on Wednesdays, Paul. We have the best show on Wednesdays.
We have a blast.
This show rivals that of the competition, Paul. There isn't another show on Wednesday nights like this, Paul. Is there another show like this on Wednesdays, Paul? I don't think there is.
I don't know. There's not. No.
I don't think there is, Paul.
On Wednesdays, I don't know. No.
But do you think, Paul? But how do you feel, Paul? How do you feel about this show, Paul? Do you feel it's a good quality show, Paul?
I think it's a nice relief. You get some comedy. You get some
what shenanigans would you like to see added to Drone Brews, Paul? I'm asking for feedback, Paul.
Well, you need to get a better co-host because the guy you have now is a loser.
Oh, he's a fucking mess, dude. He's a mess.
He's all over the place, and he doesn't drink
all over
real
the
beer.
place. He doesn't drink real beer. He goes on vacation often.
I mean, what are you paying this? What are you paying this guy?
Apparently too much, Paul. Apparently too much. He gets more vacations than me, Paul. I mean, what type of prick is he? I mean, here's what I want to do, Paul. Here's what I want to do. I want to add some extra value to Drone Brews, Paul. So how do we add extra value to Drone Brews? How do we add extra value, Paul?
Paul,
don't think too hard, Paul. I see the smoke, Paul. Don't think too hard.
No, I think we add a lot of answer everybody's questions.
So I think this is what happened. This is what happened this week. This is what do I think of the RDQ lawsuit? I don't think anything's going to happen with RDQ until they actually implement something. You can't sue the FAA for anything until they implement something. They haven't implemented everything. Ethan suggests strippers. Sam Bird suggests busty women.
B-Man said cleavage.
I have a thought.
Free beer.
So here's the thing. I don't know if busty FPV is real. I don't think that's real. I think that's somebody trying to troll us. They have 25 subscribers, though. Huh. Do you think that there's no content, though? Because I was hoping to see something busty, and there's nothing. I was disappointed. I think busty FPV is a guy. I think we're getting catfish, Paul.
Agent K said, "Stop saying my name."
I think so. So B-Man says DW is kind of busty. You think DW is trolling us with busty FPV? He's trying to seduce me, Paul? Do you think he's trying to fucking seduce me from the bedside of a hospital as the alias Busty FPV with a freaking scantily clad avatar trying to seduce me into believing that a busty female would actually fly FPV and name her channel and gain 25 real subscribers? I don't know. I don't know, Paul. I don't fucking know.
I don't think a guy in a hospital bed can get 25 subscribers, but
I don't know, dude. I think it sounds fishy, dude. I think it sounds fishy. But it sounds fishy enough to where I am going to monitor the situation and see if this busty FPV keeps showing up. Because if this person does, we need to have him on the show.
Didn't you give him a wrench?
I didn't give Busty a wrench because I'm suspect.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Oh shit! Hang on. June's talking about RDQ and Rotor Riot. Okay, so hang on a second. I did not hear about this lawsuit. So June, if you have a link to whatever you're talking about, I would love to hear that. I would love to hear about that because that is something I did not hear about. Cody Gar says he's kind of hoping she's real.
I mean, how we do it to she?
Bust FPV was on Bill's show and Coast to Coast Drones. See, that's skeptical. I think it's Dan. I think Dan is bored and he's grown breast and he's decided to anamorph into, and the reason why he's got 25 subscribers, hear me out.
Okay.
If I titled myself as Busty Dobo, people are going to subscribe to me. If I dropped the original and just called it Busty Dobo, would you not subscribe to Busty Dobo, Paul?
No,
I probably tell me. You would subscribe. You would subscribe to Busty Dobo, Paul.
No,
Paul,
no.
Look at me in the eye, Paul.
Well, I do like things that are busty, but yeah, I'll go with that.
I don't know. I talked to Dan yesterday. He seemed out of it. So maybe it's not Dan. Maybe it's not.
I'm surprised you talked to Dan.
Here's my thing about it. Here's my thing about people. I don't hold grudges. I don't ever hold grudges against anybody. I can't be mad at anybody. Like you can lie, cheat, and steal from me, and I would not be mad. I could forgive you tomorrow. I learned, like my grandmother, she was Italian, and she would hold a grudge. She held grudges until she passed away. The poor, bless her, grandma. Goodbye, bless you. But she would hold a grudge. This lady, she would hold a grudge. I can't do that. I can't hold a grudge. So he's in the hospital. I feel bad. I feel bad for the guy because he's in there. He's sick, and and I have this emoji. Oh fuck!
Oh, there goes your man. Did you just spill it all over the place? Please tell me your lenses and camera weren't down there.
Paul, I hate to do this to you, Paul, but I gotta take the shirt off, Paul. I gotta take the shirt off.
Whoa. What is this world coming to? What size shirt do you wear? Do I need an
emergency situation?
Do I need to buy you another one?
Shirt off because it's on the floor, Paul. Fuck me, Paul. It's on the floor. This show just went to shit, Paul.
Your wife is going to definitely kill you now.
Did you see what happened? Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm Italian and I'm talking because I'm Italian and I talk and I hit things, Paul. Shit, it's on the carpet, Paul. You know how much trouble I'm in, Paul?
Yeah, you're in trouble. You're in trouble for sure. She's going to kill you. And I don't even want to look, man.
Is this better, Paul? I'm not really topless because I'm a guy. Does that count, Paul?
I mean, at least your nipples aren't showing. Yeah, you're talking about Busty Dobo now. Look at your,
On a scale of 1 to 10, Paul, should I delete this stream at this point? Because I feel like shit just went sideways after I just spilt that beer. I can't even hear you. Tell me, Paul.
I think you should be yourself, man. Just let it all out.
I don't know, dude. I don't even know, dude.
Does this count?
How did I end up with no shirt? I just spilled beer on the carpet. And of course, the worst part about this is I spilt peanut butter cup on the floor. So these beers are dark porters and they stain, dude. They stain. Fuck, Paul. My wife is going to stick her foot up my ass, Paul.
I knew you wanted to remodel the studio, but I didn't know you wanted to do it that way.
Oh, this is why I don't stream this late. Damn it, dude. It's on the floor, Paul.
It is pretty late. Things never happen good once it gets after 10:30.
It's like saying one more pack, Paul. What is going on, dude? I said one more pack. All right. So at this point, listen, ladies and gentlemen,
He
I don't
wasted
even know.
he wasted a beer. I think we have to call it a night.
All right,
I mean,
hang on a second. All right, here,
once-
Paul, you hold down the fort here for a second, Paul.
Okay. Whoa, okay. All right, there we go. Definitely don't want to see any more of that. Someone is getting flogging tonight. Whoa, B-man. Abuse to alcohol, yes. Yep. She's gonna... It's not Tuesday. I wonder if my wife is watching right now because she would be...
I couldn't find a
Oh my goodness.
shirt.
What are you wearing?
I couldn't find a shirt, Paul, so I just grabbed this. This is my
What
boa.
are you... What, I mean, I feel like we're going to a strip club right now. I mean...
No, it's a boa, Paul. It's perfectly acceptable. I grabbed what I could find. I had a boa, okay? Can we just not talk about this today? Can we just not talk about this?
Do you use that on Tuesday nights? Is that what you
Paul, fuck you, Paul. I grabbed this because it was available, okay? And it's just enough to cover my cleavage and so I don't get demonetized again, okay, Paul? That's all I could do at this point.
Yeah, please don't get demonetized because you don't pay me enough as it is. If you got demonetized,
but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell you is that I just grabbed what I could, and this is the best I can do. So you're gonna have to take the good with the bad. All right, listen. If you stayed this far into the stream and you're thinking to yourself, why did I stay this long into the stream? What potential value does this give me? Listen, a beer fell.
You know what kind of value everybody's getting?
A beer fell. I grabbed the boa. I don't even fucking know what's happening right now. Okay. So I guess at this point, I probably feel like I need to take a shower because holy shit, I need to take a shower because I have sticky beer all over me, dude. Okay. Paul,
I mean, this still doesn't beat the beer in the face moment, but this is
no, this is pretty close, Paul, because I'm topless. So I mean, it's pretty.
At least you didn't lose any clothing in that one. That's yeah.
What are the odds somebody stays into this for 2 hours and 40 or 1 hour and 43 minutes after
we got
the
some
stream is
dedicated
over?
Wrenches out there, man.
Ah, fuck, man. I don't know, dude.
All these members,
I don't know, dude. I just feel like right now this just became a shit show in like
a rainbow party lawn.
Less than 20 minutes. Well, anyways, whatever. Fuck it. I mean, this is a great boa, though. I mean, if I had to say, this boa is fantastic. So, anyways,
okay,
this was the best I could do. All right.
I don't know. I don't know what you're doing.
All right. Well, I guess we'll call it. That's it. That's the stream. That's
it.
That's
you
it.
Can't, I mean, once you see a boa, you can't go back. So you
I mean, what are you gonna do, Paul? I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, I mean,
my wife's gonna be like, "Why are you staying up late watching Ken and a boa?" I mean, I gotta tell her what I gotta explain to her what I just saw tonight, and I don't know, maybe hopefully.
I don't even know what Paul said. Listen, at the bottom line is this, Paul. It's fine. All right. We'll wrap it up, Paul. We're going to wrap it up. That's it.
You're all over the place. I think we need to end this now, guys. Guys, it's been real tonight. If you stay this long, you are dedicated people. We appreciate you.
I digress.
React if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. Yeah. React if you have to. Yeah.
Paul, check this shit out, dude. I found some fucking coconuts, Paul, from my luau.
You should
tell me I'm not busty FPV, Paul. Coconuts, Paul. I found some You like these coconuts, Paul?
You have some nice coconuts, man.
You like my coconuts, Paul?
Yeah. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to.